So in today's episode of Do We Respect Running Backs or Not, we ask how high is too high, and it will be answered by Snoop Dogg. Of course, we're going to be doing a career simulation, I don't even know what that was, of Mr. Bijan Robinson, and see where he goes, how much of an impact will he have, and will it have been worth it in the end? Obviously, there's potential talks about Philadelphia at 10. You know, they do have kind of the luxury of being pretty damn complete as is, with that extra bonus pick of being in the top 10 while being a Super Bowl competitor, which is crazy. And then, of course, plenty of other teams that maybe wouldn't be willing to take him in the first. Like Pacheco being on the Chiefs, you would think if it wasn't for him, maybe he would be the highest spot other than like a trade up, because it is kind of crazy, but it is also a valid point that running backs are literally a dime a dozen. You go across the league and look at running back, and pretty much every team has their guy or that player, if you will. But yeah, this was supposed to be a different player, but EA decided to bend me over, and the rest is history. It's been so many times. I mean, at this point, I'm like the damn Grand Canyon. But number one overall should be quarterback. We, set that whole thing up. And it is Stroud. I actually recently did a sim where it was actually Bryce Young, which was kind of interesting. Of course, the first two picks are almost always quarterback anyways. And then this one has been Jalen Carter sometimes. I've seen Will Anderson more often than not, but Christian Gonzalez, that is the biggest surprise of them all. Seen at 4 quarterback, not always, but has been lately. This is almost always Carter. This time it's Will Anderson. This is almost always corner. This time it's Myles Murphy, not Jalen Carter, which I don't think is physically possible. And then Carter at 7 of the Raiders would be a dream for them. Lucas Van Ness, maybe. Trying to think of teams that would maybe take Bijan. I think he'd be a bit high at 8, but the Falcons of those teams would probably be the most legit of that group. And then the Bears, who need a lot of stuff, would probably be close second, in my opinion, so far at least. And then the Eagles, luxury pick, will not take him. Brian Branch, that has been a big topic as well. The Titans trying to shop Derrick Henry. Don't think it's going to happen in game, but we'll see. They do not. The Texans maybe, but Pierce is obviously super fun. The Jets, almost zero chance. The Patriots, obviously Ramondre Stevenson, maybe. Green Bay, honestly, of the bunch so far, would be maybe the most realistic option, as obviously there's some aging pieces, and more importantly, some expiring contracts. Talks about Aaron Jones. I never really thought it was going to be a legit thing, but the cap hit of Aaron Jones, potential cap casualty, get rid of him, but that obviously has not been the case. Washington, I suppose, doesn't really have their guaranteed guy. Najee Harris, I think you got to keep him as the starter. The Lions with David Montgomery, not going to happen. The Buccaneers would have been a good one. Seahawks, zero chance. Dolphins? No? Really? The Chargers, maybe, because Eckler's a different type of back? No. Ravens? Not the Ravens, bro. The Vikings? Talks about Dalvin Cook? No. Jaguars, very little chance. Giants, very little chance. Cowboys? Decent chance. It's the Cowboys. Bijan Robinson. And especially with the Eagles sitting that close, you got to assume they would have traded up in front of them, right? I don't even know. But we finally have our match, which, to be honest, is questionable. And if you actually follow me on Twitter, I posted an image of the Cowboys, and it wouldn't let me sim. That's actually not for this video. This is actually a different one, but ironically enough, that player also ended up going to the Cowboys, but not right away. It was actually a rookie deal being over type of deal, so there's that. I also think I'm going to start Robinson, as Tony Pollard did kind of play the backup role, if you will, to Zeke. Maybe more due to a contract situation where they try to make that Zeke contract feel validated because Tony Pollard just looked way better. But I think Tony Pollard is a better complementary back, especially if you're going to be taking Robinson that, I wouldn't say that high, but considering your needs, quote-unquote, that high, especially with a fifth-year option in Tony Pollard, maybe you don't even re-sign him at all. But bumped his ratings a little bit. He is an 80 overall here, and I believe he is an X Factor, looking kind of ferocious, if you will. This is Bengals class, but I upped the speed at like 3 points, and I think I made his age 21 to reflect real life, but that's pretty much it. I think everything else, I didn't change a single thing. And for anyone that asks, I can't believe We also have to change that number. But I can't believe people actually ask this. But, like, for anyone that asks, how do you find Bengals class? Like, really? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? Maybe you're, like, really young or maybe you don't care that much. But, like, you can't be that helpless, right? Like, not only is it the most downloaded draft class on Xbox, maybe you're a PlayStation player, maybe that's what it is. I don't know if he has one over there. But it's not only is it the most downloaded, but, like, I'm pretty sure you literally just type in the name, right? No? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But, like, it's impossible not to see. And Brian Anger is insane if he thinks he's keeping number 5. We're switching that out right now. Can't imagine it would cost much for him to change his number. Zeke is still here, of course. He is no longer, so we are going to pull him here. But here is the projected starting offense, which is, I mean, kind of scary to be honest. Although Dalton Schultz, what are you doing, bro? Well, it doesn't matter who you draft because the Cowboys are 8-9 to start this one out. Obviously, I'm not going to look at the schedule or anything like that. We have a strict schedule. Speaking of, to get through here, we're not trying to have this video be 3 hours long. Dak with maybe the worst quarterback season I've seen in the game. Other than yards, I guess, but that's a very bad touchdown to pick ratio. You, like, never see that. Rushing. Ooh. Okay, so we know that certain running backs, ironically enough, a perfect example is the guy on this roster, don't do well in sim, right? Tony Pollard is awful in sim. Bijan, really bad. I mean, 3.7 yards per carry with these ratings is shockingly bad. Now, the real bad part about this is I can't exactly keep auto-progressing off. So I guess he's just going to have to upgrade himself and probably never become a true trucking back. Other than maybe like when he's like 27 or something. I don't know. But let's take a look at the yearly awards. Maybe he would have won Rookie of the Year anyways. Didn't really actually remember. The touchdowns were low there too, though, weren't they? He's number 2, but like overall, that was not a good year. It really wasn't. Like, he is one of those guys that you would just expect to hit the ground running and be in that top-tier conversation early. And yet, he was in the conversation already. Let's be honest. If that's the season he had, no matter who he joined, the bust conversations would already be talked about. They obviously would. Whether they're fair or not, that's just the way people are. And with a season like that, especially in Madden terms, that's ultra fair. 3.7 yards per carry for him, especially with the Cowboys scheme and a pretty damn good offensive line, is really bad. Of course, the Niners with the win of the Super Bowl over the Broncos. All right, let's see what the draft picks looked like. Tight end. 88 speed, 75 overall. He's 6'6". He's huge. Wearing number 49 makes me disgusted. Let's get rid of that number real quick. Even if it's single digit, I'd rather have it at that rate. 84, I guess. Dev. X Factor. Okay. That's a pretty good draft pick. 72 overall DT, 68 overall corner, but he's fast. 68 overall middle linebacker. Okay, so and then they go with a running back. I suppose running back late. Who cares? But yeah, very good first pick. Very good. All right, so the offense looks different. Where the hell is Lamb? Tyron Smith may be retired, but also maybe they just let him go. I've seen him in free agency a lot. Defensively, were you looking all right? Interesting looking middle linebacker. Right end's different. Yeah, this is far from a great team. Christopher Smith, though, with superstar development trade, not bad. Team is not great, especially on defense. Another missed playoff season, a little bit better in fairness, but not good enough. Let's take a look at how... okay, so Dak way better this time. Bijan, not great, right? Still really bad, but it is what it is. That's just how the season's gone so far, his career so far. First 2 seasons definitely have struggled. And just for the sake of, like, I wouldn't say originality, but variety, I probably will drop him in Dev next season if he doesn't average at least 4 yards per carry. You can't be considered an X factor if you're not putting up at least 4 yards per carry. That is like the bare minimum on top of it. That's kind of like maybe he should drop Dev anyways if he's not at least 4.2 plus. Another draft pick, 18, 73 overall DT, who is 23 and normal. Good power moves, good strength, I guess, but that's why I don't like drafting 23, because it's a GG. 73 overall, also 23, but hidden athletic as hell as well. I'm kind of curious about the dev because despite being 23, those, specifically that athleticism, looking pretty good. Star dev, so irrelevant. And then some 68 overall slow wide receiver who is 6'5" in fairness, but he's really bad at route running. Finally, in the playoffs, one last hurrah. We're not even going to touch that. Who gives a damn? But like we said, under 4 yards per carry, Bijan is going down in dev, and he has avoided elimination. 1,205 yards, 4.1 yards per carry with 6 touchdowns. His best season yet, but still very disappointing. Not going to lie. Still very disappointing. I was expecting, like, his first year would have been, like, 4.5, and it would have went up from there. The first playoff game is a win over the Rams. The second playoff game is a win over the Seahawks. The third playoff game, headed to the Super Bowl, is a win over the Commanders. Let's go in just in case Bijan wins a Super Bowl. And a very early career Super Bowl win for Robinson. The Cowboys no longer need their VHS tapes or players as they have something in the new era to watch for the Super Bowl. Of course, let's take a look at Robinson. Do they even show the running back much in this? I know they show the quarterback like 45 different times. I'm trying to locate him. I looked away for a split. There he is! My man. It's almost like they knew. Like, he's literally like super focused on there, no? Like, other than quarterback, that was like the most focused player of the whole thing. That's, I mean, kind of cool. That's. I mean, the thing never changes in fairness, but I never really focus on any one particular player, just the animation as a whole, which is ironic enough that they made a new animation and they messed it up. You have the quarterback running onto the field celebrating, and then the next slide, literal next shot, is him on the sideline, like, not on the field, like, super teleporter. But that's pretty much going to be that one, as Bijan is now a Super Bowl champion already at the age of, like, what, 24? 23, 24 technically about to be. Really good game, though. 15 for 141 with 2 touchdowns. You got to love it. 80-yard run in fairness, but still it counts. It's better than Najee's 7. 1 catch for 1 yard. Not really that good, but not bad. A really early career Super Bowl win. Can he finish with the most Super Bowls out of all the career simulations we have done for the real-life 2023 draft class? All right, another draft, and kind of not looking great. They do have Byron Andrews, who is 6'4", 241, a huge player, hidden development trait. Don't know what his change of direction was. I don't know if it even shows it on the back card there, but 80 agility, which is interesting, and only star. I mean, it's not bad for pick 32, but unless these guys are hidden, also another bad set of selections. Really bad corner there. Slow as hell, not even hidden. No man coverage, and then the guard's not hidden either. Ugh. Playoffs. Let's take a look at how the team played. You can see Dak on the top 3 list. Bijan with a really nice season. He's finally stepping into the shining star that he is role. 1,436 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns, 0 fumbles, 48 broken tackles. I kind of wonder where that like ranks. I think usually you see guys around like, it's 60, 70 maybe. Yeah, I mean it's up there, but you could obviously see Derrick Henry at 77. 60s is like truly elite, right? All right, let's see if we can get to the Super Bowl again, and it doesn't happen. But either way, it's still a young career, plenty of time to get back and win multiple rings. Giants over the Steelers with the win. All right, looking at the draft, pick 23, they came out with some talent. They got some players. They got a left tackle, Damian Horn, which is, I mean, he's a little raw, but he's hidden. Charles, who's fast, another hidden development trait player. Looks really old. A left outside linebacker who's normal in fairness, but athletic. And then I seen a higher overall later. Another wide receiver, Speedy Bruton. Not bad. Okay, so that was probably their best draft, although that tight end being an X factor and huge is pretty hard to beat too, though. All right, here's what the team looks like. We moved Charles to the number 2 spot as their solution for the number 2 was an old Kendrick Bourne. They need a new quarterback, just in general because it's Dak. Oh, lol, Dak's bad jokes. Woo! But he's lower overall. Obviously, his ratings are still pretty good outside of throw power, but tight end's obviously amazing, and then defensively, they could use some work. They're kind of working with some old guys that are like barely holding on, like Bland is 28, X Factor, but, his ceiling's been reached. They need to spend some of this money. I don't know why they don't. 7-10 team, definitely not up to par. Things are going backwards. Dak back to his old ways of throwing interceptions. Bijan is still really good, though. Want to see those numbers really go up there. Ooh, that's a rare sight, especially from a bad season at quarterback. 4 1,000-yard receivers. Considering he only had like 4,700 yards, that's rare. Like, I've seen like 5,400 yards not even produce that, which is it's pretty impressive. While we didn't, expect many award wins, I kind of want to see where that kind of a season would put Bijan at 5. So I'd say he probably hasn't won or even come close to winning a best running back award yet. But once again, still young. He's probably like 26 at this point. At his overall, he'll probably play till 34, 35. He'll probably retire before he sucks, to be honest. But the Chiefs versus the Panthers, it'd be nice to see him join a team like the Panthers or the Saints who really utilize that running back in both ways. That kind of seemed weird, a little sus, if you will. DevOps, we don't really care about the DevOps, to be honest, because no matter what happens, whether a player goes up in dev or they don't go up in dev, it's up to the AI to retain and add new players, and usually they're pretty bad at that. Oh, they're getting even worse. 6-11. The draft was really bad, so I just decided not to show it. Dak did have a pretty good year for yards. Touchdown are okay. Bijan, most interceptions, touchdowns. I was thinking interceptions because the left number is the one I care about, and then the right is, But yards are definitely down, and so are the yards per carry. Gabe Davis is killing it, but they need more talent. The team is filled with like a bunch of like low 80s at this point. They definitely need to improve. Oh, by the way, I didn't even really pay attention to it, but Zach Martin, now that I mentioned he's probably going to go, is still here at 38. I wonder what it is that's coded in the game to make certain players just not retire and some do. I don't have the sliders on anything crazy. I actually had him on base for the majority of this thing. So it's not like his overall was just too high for him to retire. Usually they just go at 35 or 36, but he's still here at 38. I think we've had it with Trent Williams has also done something similar to that, but it's not a very common thing. They also do, maybe it's because we haven't made the playoffs or something, because I remember them saying something about last hurrah or whatever, but since we haven't made the playoffs, he can't have a last hurrah, so he's like, screw that, I'm going to make a damn Super Bowl happen again before I retire, and that's just not happening. I don't know, but 38 years old, that would be a huge win. Imagine having Zach Martin for 15, 16 years as a 90-plus overall superstar. All right, the Cowboys drafted a new quarterback at 8. They also grabbed McLeod, who's not very good, but the quarterback is hidden development trade. Looks decent. Honestly, built kind of similarly to Dak even. Not the fastest, but just enough to run around a little bit. And his dev is star, so not very good. All right, 9-8 Cowboys. Quarterback's not looking good. Running back's not looking good, at least on the top 3. Dak did have one of his better seasons, ironically enough. Bijan back to being pretty good, right? That's pretty fair. He hasn't done anything since I made that rule to deserve a drop in dev, so he'll stay as that X factor for now. And he moved up to number 4 on the best running back list. Plus, we have that chance at the Super Bowl again, which obviously is kind of the ultimate goal. If he can win more than one Super Bowl, he's already the best of these career simulations. Beats the Bears. Gonna be honest, sorry Bears fans. Not the hardest thing to do, even though we're multiple years down the line. Now the Falcons after a win over the Giants, and he's back in the Super Bowl. Obviously, he being the whole team. I'm gonna skip it because we've already seen the celebration. And he wins! They win another Super Bowl, 9-8. Of course, the Raiders were also 9-8. Crap, that's not what I wanted to do, but look at that game. Whew, that was a close. I actually kind of want to take a look at these stats. I kind of want to look. Dak is kind of, oh my. Bijan is a playoff god. He is ridiculous. I kind of want to look at all the performances now. Not great, but good yards per carry in fairness, so it's not like it was his fault. He played well. He just didn't get that many touches because they're like, screw it, let's just throw it. Dak was great too. Dak was actually really good. Depending on how this wildcard game went, is best playoff performer of all time? Like, that's ridiculous. So 17 touchdowns, about 1,250 yards. So now I'd probably be able to find it if I actually super committed, but I'm just going to assume that 17 touchdowns in a playoff series is the most all time. But I couldn't find anything. Every question is, how many in a game? How many in a game? I've typed in how many in a playoff series, how many playoff run. in one season for the playoffs. I mean, it's all just in a game. It's like you would think you would find it after the first thing. Like, how many people are asking this question and need it from different sources? I believe the first one. But yeah, 17 touchdowns has to be the record for most touchdowns in a single playoff series. Like, that Super Bowl performance wasn't great, but like 2 5 touchdowns and a 6, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like a 4, a 5, and a 6, which, I mean, that's tough. The playoffs are the playoffs for a reason. So I don't know if Dak just went to free agency, but he's not here, and Zach Martin and Chris Jones have both retired. Why not retire while on top? Here's the draft recap with $138 million in cap space. It would appear that they are keeping the quarterback that was drafted last season as their starter, and they also appear to have thrown the draft away. They wanted their offensive lineman Connor Williams back. He wouldn't join, so they decided to go with the cornerback. This is the worst pick I've ever seen. This is hands down the worst draft pick in the history of Madden. Like, he's 23, he's normal dev, he's 81 speed, he's a 65 overall, and it's in the second round. This guy is also pretty close too, though, in fairness. 23 with 83 speed, and he looks like a 50-some-year-old working for the Mafia. And then the best pick of their draft looks to be this 97 speed and excel wide receiver. This is a terrible draft, though. I mean, talk about just blowing a great opportunity right after the Super Bowl win, just having the worst draft I've ever seen. Like, I've had better Rams drafts year one than they just had there. And you don't have first, second, third, you have like no draft picks year one. All right, this is what the squad looks like. Offensive line is not perfect, but there's got potential. Wide receivers, Gabe Davis needs to be replaced, but at least they got some speedy wide receivers outside of that. Ayers is now the starting quarterback. He's obviously young. Bijan is still here. Parsons is still a god. Andrews is going up. Smith has been pretty good, but obviously his ceiling's getting reached as well. I don't know what the rest of the league looks like. This doesn't look great, but I can't imagine the rest of the league looks like much better than this. So it really comes down to how this new quarterback plays. 6 and 11, so the team keeps going back and forth. Dak is still there. You've seen him on the list, but I suppose Ayers had a really good year. Should go to superstar. Bijan, he's kind of like back and forth, but he's still playing pretty well. It's nothing spectacular, but pretty good. Tracy Charles might be the future at wide receiver for this team. So another pick 6, pretty high overall wide receiver, 72 overall tackle, who in fairness is a star plus. Kind of curious because the offensive line from the Cowboys, they know how to draft that position. So is this a superstar or not? It's not, but still, they know how to draft it anyways. And then as far as the wide receiver goes here, Mr. Thurman Richards, normal dev, old with bad release. Ugh. Yeah, that overall, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's 76. And then you look at his ratings, you're like, oh, he sucks. Never mind. Another normal. It's okay. Their drafts have not gone well. Madden 23 now, store now, GT Online now, Black Ops 3 now, GT Online now, store now, Madden 23 now. All right, so they definitely have improved a little bit, just with, drafting and developing. Mr. Charles is really good. Superstar development trait, super fast, young. Bijan is 99 still, obviously. Ayers is now a superstar. The quarterback they drafted in, the 5th round, apparently, is hidden. And the fact that he has a point already tells me maybe he's, superstar, because that's... for a 23-year-old that's not even starting, even with, the 3 playoff games or preseason games, you would still think, you still would think it would take a little bit longer to develop, but I guess not. And then Bruton's also fast. Don't know what Billups is looking like. He's got to be getting up there, right? 29. Don't know if he's actually regressing, but he is talented. Very good route running and speed for that size, which is just kind of illegal. And then defensively, Parsons still here at 96 overall. He's regressing a little bit, but not too badly. They got rid of Bland, and they have no replacement for him. Tolliver, how old is this guy? 25, and he's only a 70 overall. Wow, he sucks. Where do they get him? And then Swinton, this guy's got to be in his 30s. 28. Is he new? I can't remember. It's hard to keep track because obviously we're simming so often, and obviously I'm not looking at the players every single season, and it's hard to keep track, but this team has a lot of money and a lot of need at corner. Playoffs, 10-7, weak link. It's almost always the defense, I'm pretty sure. Look at the quarterbacks, the passers. We don't know those people. Those people don't exist. They're lies. Derek Ayers, decent season. Bijan with his best season yet, technically. One of his highest touchdown seasons, one of his highest yards, and then his very highest average yards per carry. Receiving numbers were pretty bad, though, and then Bijan pretty good there. His total yards have got to be pretty high, though, is obviously, I should have maybe looked at he might have actually had a chance at best running back this season, but obviously getting a lot of receiving yards on top of it, so looking pretty good of a career so far, and best running back is number 1. There you go. Not a whole lot of other 99 overalls, right? Like, guys like Pacheco, you would think would probably have a pretty good chance to become 99 overalls themselves. Young, 78, I think, overall rookie, basically. So the sliders aren't like crazy. It's just Bijan starting with X Factor, a bit of an advantage. Let's take a look at the winner of this one. Let's see. The Panthers have won a Super Bowl recently enough. We have kind of won one recently enough, and we beat them. The Giants, we've done a pretty good job against them in the past. They might actually have the series now on us, to be honest, though. They've made the Super Bowl a couple of times in this one as well. Can't remember if they ever won it, though. I think, did they? I don't even know, but they don't go here. It's the Bears. Talked crap about them like a couple seasons back, and they lose, so they still suck. Well, let's go on to the draft. I wonder if Bijan's going to stay here for his whole career. You know that this team is very loyal to their running backs, it seems, but we're going to see. He's got to be about 30 by now. I'd say he's going to be either he's 29 or he's about to be 30. He might be 30 right now, I don't know, but around that age mark. So he's getting there. Not actually a bad draft, especially for 25. Seen a bunch of 68, 69s in there. But a strong safety, Adrian Jackson. It's kind of a cool name, actually. Really solid safety. I kind of want to see how good he is dev-wise, because he can play corner. He's got athleticism as well. It's not common that you see a safety that fast. I just changed his number for nothing, so I forgot to save. 75 overall DT, tongue, hidden development rate, super strong, rare as hell, or raw as hell anyways. It's funny, this is the kind of guy I was expecting to get in Steelers franchise, that Billups fella. If you guys have been watching that, maybe check it out if you haven't. And it didn't happen that way. The guy with good strength, bad ratings, but at least he's hidden. Didn't really happen that way. Ooh, a bye week playoff season. Ayers is number 2. Still haven't seen Bijan on the number 3 or top 3 list. Ayers is the best season of any quarterback we've seen yet. Bijan, pretty good. Definitely not his best, but still really good. Good receiving season as well. I don't know if they actually factor receiving yards in. He's MVP. Damn, he's killing it. But I don't know if they actually factor receiving yards for the best running back award. But Robinson at number 2 is pretty impressive. Ayers best quarterback. He won it all pretty much. He's him. Can he win a Super Bowl here, though? Technically, didn't he actually win one? Was he? I want to actually see. Was he here for the Super Bowl? I can't remember if that was the year before or not. He must have been here for that Super Bowl, so he's already a Super Bowl champion, right? I don't think we're actually going to be able to take a look from here, are we? I don't think it shows Super Bowl, Pro Bowl appearance. Yeah, I don't think it shows, but I think he was, right? Because I think Dak retired, like, immediately after. Yeah, he was here. He's a Super Bowl champion. Not half bad. Super Bowl between the Cowboys and the Commanders. Can Bijan win his third? Already off to a good start. Panthers, little hit or miss. But we've had their number. Chance at 3. Against the Dolphins. Both overalls, very similar. Can he win a third? He can and will. Bijan Robinson headed towards greatest of all time status, as he has now won 3 Super Bowls, being a massive part of all of them, and he's still got some years left in him. Derek Ayers also looking very, 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 very good. Bijan, not the greatest playoff performance so far, at least what I'm looking at here. Super Bowl was decent, I suppose. Had a really good wild card. That saved it. So overall, an average plus season for the postseason. They got a new tight end. It appears that we're moving on, even though he's only 6'2", but maybe he's superstar, I suppose. 6'2" tight end, really, in the first round? Ugh. If you're 6'2" and you're playing tight end, you better be running like a 4.38 or something. If you're a first rounder, at least. All right, let's take a look at these offensive players. This should be a pretty damn good offense still. 92 overall wide receiver, 90 overall quarterback, 99 running back, 85 at wide receiver 2, and 97 tight end. O-line has seen better days, but it's not the worst. You got a bunch of 85s pretty much on the offensive line. And And then defensively, Parsons still here as a 92 overall. Need help at free safety and corner. They need to start drafting DBs. I don't know what they're doing. Get a damn DB, would you? Of course, 34 years old for Micah Parsons. Still really good. Super fast. Almost just make him a coverage player if he drops any further. 9-8, not making the playoffs this season, but hey, we got ourselves a bunch of Super Bowls with Robinson, so a couple of break years are fine, I guess. I'll allow it. Just don't make a habit of it. Most touchdowns of his career so far, one of his best yards per carry season. With those touchdowns, especially receiving numbers, probably a best running back award again, I would assume, and I would assume correctly. Oh, Bijan's dropped the furthest he has so far, sitting at a 32 years of age, but also a 95 overall. His speed dropped a little bit. His trucking and stiff arm never got up there. You know, as far as like how good of a running back he is, I've definitely seen much better, but I have definitely not seen one as successful as him. Yards maybe aren't the greatest. Touchdowns maybe aren't always the best, even though this season was great. Yards per carry aren't always the best, but my man's got 3 Super Bowls. All right, some DBs, 2 of them actually. A 93 speed corner, 23 years old, but he is 6'2". Let's take a look at what that dev looks like, though. But this is one of those situations where if he's not higher than star, you can see why we hate 23-year-olds. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Team Old wins this one. All right, 12-5. Who the hell would the last hurrah be? I'm not going to click it because that's just stupid. Ayer's the number 1 quarterback for yards. Really good touchdowns as well. Bijan with 1,300 yards. His yards are dropping, but his touchdowns have not been, which, once again, touchdowns are the biggest motivator for these award wins. Might be enough to get him another best running back. It is not, number 2. But the Panthers, who we've basically owned this entire time, are our first opponent, and as usual. Bears been a little 50-50, but typically we've won these matchups, and not today. So no 4th Super Bowl, but still a really, really good run so far. Still some years left. The Falcons versus the Steelers. The winner of this one being the Falcons, I would imagine, and it is. I kind of want to look at Robinson's numbers just in case he retires. I'd be pretty confident saying he'll stay here till he's at least 35. But just a quick look. 3-3, 3-3 for attempts. The odds of us looking at that point is crazy. 1993 for yards after contact, 544 broken tackles, only 2 fumbles, which is kind of crazy. Longest run of 89 receiving. He's at 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns. And a quick look at the awards that he has won so far. Actually, let's take a look at the season. So, best season was kind of 2023 or 2031, but 2033 was also pretty good because of the touchdowns. I would say 2031, though. I'm a sucker for the yards per carry because obviously that's typically the top tier of being great. Doesn't show the Super Bowls, actually. So 4 Pro Bowls, which is a little low, 2 best running backs, and I believe 3 Super Bowls, which would still easily make him the most successful of all of the players we've done so far. Surprisingly, though, with those 3 Super Bowls, he's only at number 7. I mean, there's players in front of him that don't even have Super Bowls at all. And they're like, screw it, dude. Yearly awards over Super Bowls. All right, this is what the squad looks like. The offense still looks pretty good, but Bijan is 93 overall, which obviously, like I said, I think he's going to retire before he actually sucks. He's probably going to be gone in 2, maybe 3 seasons. So got to make a count. Try to extend that lead. Rookie-wise, there was a rookie DT. Didn't look at his dev. Didn't really care too much. And then looking at offensive line, this guy was pretty good. Damn, look at the Eagles at 16-1. Of course, no playoffs for us, sadly. Bijan's number 3 for yards. The first time in his career. That looks just to be that the rest of the league sucks. But could still be a Best Running Back Award win, which obviously adds to legacy. I really wish we would have looked at because I've already deleted the other files because I've got so many. Really wish we would have looked at the legacy score. Oh, but it actually shows it above the player. So as long as we looked at the player before it was over, we should be able to see the legacy scores. Kind of want to see like who has the highest legacy score possible. Trying to think if quarterback is at a better advantage or not to running back. I don't know. I think quarterbacks just have better legacy scores, right? Maybe not. I don't know. So I do not know whose idea it was, the Cowboys or Bijan, but he is now a Viking. Who is this guy? X Factor Simpson. Oh, he's young, too. This guy's balling out. He has joined a new team. The offensive line is okay. The wide receiver is not super great. And then I don't know if this Upshaw guy is young or not. He is not. And then the defense, I can't imagine is much better since it's an 80 overall team. Got a couple of hiddens in here, I suppose, but corners similar to that Cowboys team, pretty bad. But new squad, and I'm kind of grateful because now I have another team to put on the thumbnail. I mean, what? And the Vikings are in the playoffs. I'm kind of curious. Obviously, Bijan himself would have helped the Cowboys, but did they the Explorers? We got a reload. That logo looks sick, though. But we got a relocation team. I don't think I haven't really paid attention to it, but I don't think we've had that in any of these types of videos before. Cowboys missed the playoffs, which, hopping the ship seemed to be a good decision. Let's take a look at the numbers. This team should still run the ball pretty well, right? Simpson killed it. Ooh, yeah, maybe wasn't the best personal stats-wise, which, I suppose I have made the rule to drop him to Superstar Dev. So he's going to be dropping Dev for the first time in his career. Not that it probably will matter, as he's literally like a year away. Maybe even retires this offseason without the Dev change. Also, I don't know if we have number 5 available. I imagine not. But him wearing number 36 after wearing 5 his entire football career is a little weird. So, this guy's done for. I was gonna remove him, but I was like, you know what? They drafted him. I'm not gonna impede their process. We'll change his number, but yeah, number 5 for Mr. Robinson. I finally remembered to change a player's number. Look at that. I'm improving. The Panthers, no matter what team we're following, always win nothing. Going against the Falcons in this one, they've been to a lot of Super Bowls lately, and he loses. Could you imagine if Robinson would have won a 4th and with a new team this time? That would have been insane. Was he on the list? Doubt it. Yeah, he wasn't. But either way, another season in the books. Let's take a look at his stats and awards and all that, just in case. Just in case he retires at 35, which it happens. It happens. 213 touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry in his career, 17,807 yards, 3 fumbles now. Receiving 5,600, so definitely over 20,000 total as far as his awards go. I think he won 3 best running backs, right? If I'm not mistaken. 3 best running backs, 5 Pro Bowl appearances. Pretty sure we've already seen the Falcons versus the Raiders, and I'm pretty sure the Falcons won that last time, or maybe it was the Steelers, I can't remember. But let's move on to the draft, see if he's still here just as a player or as a retired player. And Robinson retired. The worst part of this is I completely forgot to get an image of him, so I'm going to have to go and redo some things. But 14 seasons in the league. We didn't actually take a look at his final, I almost said resting place. Relax, he might be done in the league, but he's not dead. But let's take a look at the legacy score. That's what I was trying to get at before I just sold. Can we get to running back, please? Wow, Lawrence killed it. He's stuck at 7 all time. Season 130. Okay, I didn't think they were playing football that long ago, right? Wait, what do they mean? What does this even mean? Season. Is it just messed up? It says current season, year 11,938. Henry's in the damn future. Jacob's obviously the number 1, but as far as like championships go, or Super Bowls, not championships, 3. That is a lot of Super Bowls. A lot. So 3 Super Bowls for my mans, and a legacy score of, damn it, I literally, obviously it's there for the video, but me, myself, I kind of want to know, 24,714. So he didn't gain a single legacy for that last season with the Vikings. So it's going to be pretty stupid to have him on the thumbnail, but it looks better that way. Regardless, though, that is going to be it for the career simulation of Mr. Bijan Robinson. Let me know where you guys think he's going to go. Is he going to be him? And, yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want to let me know who you'd like to see next. I have ideas for a Levis and a young one, obviously, but other positions, maybe, like Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. Those are, like, my idea would be the 2 quarterbacks, Anderson, Carter, and then I don't really think I would do another one. So unless there's some player that I'm forgetting you guys want to see, you gotta let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, and then second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. It's been a little bit of a, non-uploading season as of right now because there's so many games coming out this month or have come out. I've never played any of those Horizon games on PlayStation, but a new one of that came out. I looked at Minecraft Legends, and I don't think it's my type of game. Not sure how much story is really in it anyways, but it's like kind of like a tower, I wouldn't say defense game, but it's like, what do they call it? It's like, I don't even know, dude. Whatever, but I don't think it's really my type of game. Debating on Dead Island 2, because I love the Dead Island games that came out ages ago, but a lot of the reviews I've seen have kind of talked about how, like, it's, the combat's good, but the story's not great. I don't know, but for sure I'm going to be playing Jedi Survivor, so is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure. Later this month, and I still haven't played God of War, haven't played any of the Last of Us games, so check out PK Plays. That's where all the non-Madden content will be, and like I said, I think some of the best content I do, so maybe check it out. That's about it, though. Tomorrow will be a rebuild, and then Saturday might be a new series. Like I said, I kind of want to do a relocation fantasy draft franchise, and I think that would be the time I would like to have it uploaded, even though I haven't started it yet. So there's that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video, but until next video,